Hello gamers, and welcome back to Solo Spelunking. And tonight I want to continue my solo RPG tutorial series where I showcase how I use different solo tools in different play situations and try to shed some light into the whole process of solo gaming. And for those of you just joining in, I highly recommend you start this series at the beginning and before you even watch the first episode, which is session 0. I also highly recommend that you watch my live stream that I did on this topic, which basically is the foundation, the groundwork for this series that I started, and you can find it in my channel in the live tab. So it's not in the video tab, it's in the live tab. This will be Dungeon Delving Part 2, where I will continue to explore this cellar storage area underneath a ruined manor outside of Neverwinter. And before I continue, I would like to comment on a comment because a user, but I think it was meant in a good way, he commented about this, how ridiculous it was that this poisoned bread was there in this chest. And I do agree, it is somewhat unusual and it's not really the best interpretation I came up with at the spur of the moment, but I commented on that in the comments because it is often so that when you think about these things just a little longer, that better interpretations come to mind. But if you're in front of the camera, it's kind of hard because you want to keep the game moving and you don't want to ponder too long about these things. But a different interpretation that I came up with was that the loaf of bread was not really bread in the literal sense, but also in a wider sense, if you look at the image, could also represent grain or food supply. So in combination with this vial of poison, you could come to an even sinister conclusion that whoever lived in this manor had plans to poison the entire food or grain supply, maybe of a community or of a town. Maybe then to sell his own grain, maybe for a higher price. So if you think about it, you could come to even better conclusions. And because this is solo gaming, nothing prevents you from retconning these things because they didn't really have had an impact on the story. So at this moment, I only put down loaf of poisoned bread in my inventory, and in parentheses, I put down unknown because I don't know yet that this bread is poisoned. And it's not only poisoned, but probably also conserved in some magical manner. Otherwise, it would be rotten. So it is strange, but I haven't done anything with this bread yet. So if I really like the other interpretation better, I could just retcon it and put down vial of poison. And in my comment, I put down that together with this vial, to get this connection, you find a letter from an alchemist where the usage of the poison is explained. And by this explanation, you get the idea that the intention was to poison a food supply. So that would be an even better and even sinister interpretation, but I didn't come up with it at this moment when I was recording the video. And to detail my thought process a little, how I even got to this conclusion, I mean, the thing with the shield preventing something from retrieving, so that this was the chest, I think this is pretty reasonable conclusion. And then when I read vial of poison, in my head I had this image like a ruined manor outside town, so maybe there was some strange eccentric noble living there because he was like keeping to himself. And then I don't know, because I read vial of poison, I got this idea of some sort of sinister plan, because otherwise why wouldn't he go to the trouble and construct this chest to protect whatever sinister plan he had. So this would even make more sense in conjunction with the bread to have it be a plan to poison a food supply, maybe for whatever reason. So this is how you can sometimes work with these things, and sometimes, and if you're by yourself and you think about it some more and you do some brainstorming, you usually come up with better ideas. But nonetheless, I think this poisoned bread is also not a bad idea. So I'll stick with it. So, but enough of the explanation. Let's get back to the game. I decided to key this area as well as area 3 because there was a lot of things happening. We had a trap, we have a secret door which I haven't discovered, and we had a nest of a giant lizard. So, and I jumped the pit trap, and now I'm in front of this door. So I will just continue my dungeon exploration, and yeah, I will now interact with the door. So I can see from my map, because there's no icon next to the door, that I have not interacted with it yet. So I will just roll 1d6 for the door first. And it is locked and trapped. So a locked and trapped door. So I make my locked and trap icon next to the door on the map, which is an arrow pointing upwards diagonally. All right, so this is a locked and trapped door. So now again, the question remains, do I really inspect this door further before I try to open it? And now I will take into account what happened in this dungeon previously. And previously I had a trap here on this chest. So, and I had a trap here, a pit trap, which I barely escaped. So by now it would make sense for my character, taking into account what happened before, to be especially careful and maybe try to open this door, or at least push down on the lever, maybe with an object. This is why every dungeon explorer carries a 10-foot pole with himself, but I'm not very prepared. So what I will just do, I will just take my dagger out of my boot, and I will look at this door, and then I will try to push down on the door lever with my dagger to avoid touching it. All right, so but first let's make a perception check if I notice anything suspicious. And yeah, it is pretty hard, so I make it a DC 18 because it's a trap and it's not meant to be discovered. And I'm rolling wisdom. I don't have perception as a skill, so it's just a +1. And I roll a natural 1, so I have no clue whatsoever. So I just, yeah, try to open it with a dagger, but since it's also locked, it won't budge, so the door does not open. All right, so now I do get out my thieves' tools and try to pick the lock. And now the trap comes into play. So now I got two options here. Either it is a trap, and this is pretty obvious, or pretty likely, I think, that triggers when you touch and push down on the doorknob, or it is a trap that triggers when you try to tinker with the lock. So I think it would be more likely that the trap triggers when you manipulate the doorknob or the door lever. So I will roll. So I will ask, does the trap trigger when I manipulate the lock? And I think this is unlikely, because I think it's more likely that it's the lever. So I will roll 2d6 and use the lower one. All right, so it's a no. So it does not trigger when I tamper with the lock. And the event die shows a 6, so no random event there. So let's try to open it with my thieves tools. And let's make it a random DC of 11 plus 1d8. All right, so it's 11 plus 5. It's a DC 16. DC 16. I'm using my thieves tools. I'm proficient with them. I rolled an 11 plus 5. That is exactly 16, because dexterity plus proficiency is plus 5. So yeah, I make it. So I manipulate the lock with my thieves tools and I pick the lock. So, but now the lock is picked, I still have to open the door. So now I already tried it with the dagger and nothing happened so far. So I do feel pretty safe. So what I will do now is I will open the door with my hand, or try to open it with my hand, and therefore triggering this trap. So let's find out. I will give it two options. It's either an arcane shocking grasp, electricity shock kind of trap, or it is a poison needle trap. So 1, 2, 3, it's arcane or poison needle. So 1, 2, 3 is arcane. It's an arcane trap. So yeah, that would also be a good explanation why it didn't release when I used my dagger. Maybe it senses like if it's touched by a living being or not. It's whatever. It's an arcane trap. So, and it's triggered to trigger when a living being touches it. So let's say it is 1d10 points of damage. So I open the door, but as the moment I touch, 4, so that translates to only 1 point by my damage translation table. So I'm shocked. Damn. And I hold my hand, it stings, but then I finally can open this door. All right, so now let's see. I use my dungeon worksheet. How this dungeon continues. And this is room or area number 7. All right, so this is this larger area here, strangely shaped, and this will be area 4 of this dungeon. So I will just edit like this. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, it's 6 squares. So this is 1 square and 6 squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's a door here. Use this as a reference point. And 1 square to this side, 2 squares to this side. And now 3 squares down, 1, 2, 3. And then it bends down to here. And here it goes 1 square to this side. And then it doesn't really matter if it's so accurate. It bends like this and like that. So, all right, so this is how this chamber continues, and this will be area 4. All right, so again, I show it to you. So this is my feeble attempt to copy this section, but I think it's all right. Now I will do my content roll and see if there's a monster, maybe another trap, black die, treasure maybe even, the yellow die. Where's my yellow die? Here. Or a secret door, a white die. All right, let's roll. All right, so no treasure, no secret door, no trap, and no monster. So pretty empty. And now let's find out what kind of chamber this is by rolling again on my random idea generator to see if we get some other weird interpretation. So orange, green, blue will be the order. Orange, green, blue. So that is 13, 1, and 16. 13, 1, 16. So that'll translate to orc, flame, fire, interesting, and 16, angel. All right. So in this room here, I'm going by more or less a little literal interpretation. In this room there's a large statue, a bronze statue of an angel. There's a word for these beings in the monster menu. What are angels called? Some subcategory. Are they called angels? Whatever. So, or divines, whatever. It's a statue of an angel, a female angel with spread wings and carrying a flaming sword. So some sort of trophy room, whatever. Because, and now for the unusual and macabre part, here on this wall and on this wall, right and left from the statue, on the walls, on wooden plates, are the prepared heads of slayed orcs put on display. So imagine this eerie chamber in the torchlight. So, and the silhouette of this angel statue with a flaming sword, a bronze statue, but up on the ceiling, right next to the angel statue, are these prepared mounted orc heads on display. So this enforces this impression of a really weird resident that used obviously to live here once this manor was not in ruin. So that is this chamber. So I'm still at the door and I just moved in a little bit, and I'm checking out the statue, and since this is a storage and cellar area, I assume it is logical that there would also be torch holders or braziers where you could, or that you could even light. So I will do that. Let's see if they're still lightable. It's I just roll an oracle roll. 1, 2, 3 no, 4, 5, 6 yes, just 50-50 without any event or anything now. So high is good. Yes, 6. So there's braziers there which still contain oil, and so I light them. So I got some more light, and I first let the door be and peek around this corner to see what lies behind this corner. So again, I will roll on the dungeon worksheet. $15. All right, 15. Okay, so 15 is this little intersecting room here with another door. And what I will do now, though, is, since I determined beforehand that this dungeon will only have 6 areas, because it fits this idea of an underground cellar storage area. So this will be area 5, and we still have an unexplored section here. So what I will do is I will just rule that there is no door here, and this will be a dead end. So I will end this dungeon here so that I can have another area over here. So doesn't really matter that much, and so this is what I will do. I will end this dungeon on this side here so that there's so that I can finish up this section, and then I got my 6 area underground storage cellar area. All right, so yeah, so this will be another square. So this is like 2 squares, and then it goes up 1, 3, down like this, and like this. All right, so this is walled off, so there's a massive wall, so this area here was not further expanded or constructed, or maybe it was intended this way. So, and as I sneak around this corner, we will make a content roll to see what awaits me there. Alright, so no monster, no trap, no secret door, and also no treasure. Alright, so this is actually, yeah. Oh, but see, I got this door right here, so it'll be a little bit larger. There will be a room here, otherwise the door wouldn't make sense, and then we will have one more section over here. So I will just say, all right, that these walls, they are covered with wine shelves, and in these wine shelves are the remains of broken and spilled wine bottles. So this was obviously a wine cellar area, but the wine has long been rotten and spilled, and the bottles are broken. So, but this is what this area is. So some sort of wine storage area. All right, so I will go back and interact with this door. So let's determine again what kind of door I have here. 3 is an open door. So I make my open door icon, circle. So now I know I have already interacted with this door. And this is a little bit confusing. It could be also interpreted as doors, so I will put some stripes in here. So, all right, so an open door. So I am now very cautious. So again, I use my dagger to try to open the door, and this time it opens, since it's not locked and not trapped, and reveals a room. All right, let's see what kind of room. $19. All right, so 19 will be this room right here. So I will cut it off like this. So it'll be, yeah, we'll see what it'll be. I will interpret it by using my random idea generator. All right, so 2, 2, like this. So this will be area 6, and then we'll have another area down here. All right, let's make a content roll. content roll and see what we got. Oh, I see a monster. I see a secret door, a trap, and of course no treasure. So monster, secret door, trap. This is great. All right, so a secret door. Put it up here. Put an S there. And the trap will be where it makes the most sense, directly behind the door. But now for the important part, I just opened the door. I'm still in front of the door. Let's check what kind of monster is in this room. So I'll use my little monster table that I whipped up real quick. It's a 4. All right, so it's a pack of giant rats. All right, so this makes sense because this was a wine cellar area. So I will just say that this was a food storage area with barrels with salted meats and maybe grain. It's also spoiled and rotten, and a huge pack of fat rats has made its lair there and fed on the spoiled food. And as I open the door, they shriek. And all right, so let's say, do they flee or do they attack? So 5 or 6, they will flee. Otherwise, they will attack. They will attack 4. All right, so so I opened the door and I use my torch to shed some light into this room. There's also some light from the braziers that I lit going into this room. And there's this deafening shriek and a large pack of, let's make it 6 giant rats is immediately rushing towards me. And so I take a few steps back into this larger area. I figure I will have more space to move. And they do not trigger the trap because they're too light. And they're rats, so they can just, I don't know, maybe they crawl across the wall or anything, doesn't matter. And now I will conclude this battle in this room, where I will make a sketch now because there are so many opponents. So maybe I move around a little, I don't know. So I get my impromptu battle grid out, which costs you nothing because you can just print out grid paper and put it in a document sheet. So it only costs you a few cents, but it does the job. So let's just sketch this up real quick. Doesn't have to be that accurate. All right, so that's that. Then like this, and there's this door. Oh, actually those are 10 feet, so it is, never mind. It's actually a little bit larger because these are 5 feet and on the map it's 10 feet. So let's make the 6 squares, 3, 5, 6 like this. And then 2 squares down. And let's go like this, like that. And never mind. It's not really important. It's just so that make it like this. So well, it doesn't have to be exact. Just the key features. There's a statue here. There are the mounted orc heads. And let's put the braziers here that I lit. There's another one here. So that we have something to work with. And so I took a step back. All right, And this is where the rats come from. Alright, and those of you watching this as the first episode in the series, so one of the goals of this series was to show you that you actually need very little to start solo gaming. And my goal was to show that you can start without spending any money by using the free basic Dungeons and Dragons rules that you can download for free, and I linked them in my first video. And you can also take the monster stats from there. You can create a character. You can get this dungeon worksheet from itch.io and easily make your own idea generator. So I will not be using any fancy minis in this series, just generic board game pawns and tokens, because I want to show you just how you can quickly set up a session without spending too much, just to have some sort of tactical representation if you like this kind of stuff like movement or anything. So these will just be rats. And so they can easily move through each other, and they're attacking me, and they have pack tactics, which means they get advantage on attacks if another ally, another rat, is also adjacent to me. So let's show the stats real quick. So they are on page 135 of the basic rules PDF. They have an AC of 12, 7 hit points. They attack with +4, deal 1d4 +2 piercing damage, and they use pack tactics. And I'll give them an initiative bonus of +2 also, because they're dexterous. So initiative +2. So I will roll for them and slot them into my 2 initiative slots that I have as a solo hero. But now I'm looking for my character sheet, actually. Where is it? Here. And I really need to use my second wind now, but it's alright because it's a bonus action, so I can easily do this. So let's roll initiative for the rats. +2. Oh, 14 +2, that is 16. So that is the rats, they go first. So it is the rats at 16, and then Alrik, and then Alrik again. All right, so rats, Alrik, Alrik. Alrighty, so this is interesting now, because I can only use my second wind bonus action when it's my turn, but first I gotta survive. That's pretty unheroic, huh? Should have used it before I opened the door as a bonus action outside of combat. Doesn't matter, then I need to rest, but damn. All right, let's just roll and see. I mean, this is a tutorial. I can just fudge a little maybe. All right, so usually I don't do this if I play a real adventure series, but for the purpose of this video series where I just want to showcase some things, I might be inclined to, yeah, you will see. But the rats. So this rat, we start from here and go down the line. This rat, it moves first. Doesn't matter, it will get advantage either way, but out of instinct, it wants to make room, so it moves up to here and to here, and it does not provoke an opportunity attack because it still stays within my threatened area, and because it's agile and small, it can basically squeeze through there, and it attacks with advantage. Ugh, look at this critical hit. Natural 20. So that'll be 2d4 +2 then. 2d4 +2. 2d4 +2. So that is 3, that is 6, plus 2, that is 8, which translates to 2 points of damage, bringing me down to 3 hit points. Yahoo! Alright, so that was this red. Now this red. It'll also move 1 square to make room, because it feels its pack mates pushing from behind. They smell me, they want to get a piece of me, so it makes room. So it moves and it attacks with advantage. And it rolls a 19. So 1d4 plus 2 points of damage. And of course it's 6 points, which translates to 2 points, which brings me down to 1 hit point. So this red, it jumps at me and chews at my neck, and I try to grab it. All right, I'm at 1 hit point. So now let's little bit of cheating. Now I will, as a reaction, or I will now use my second wind. So I get to regenerate 1d10 plus level hit points. It's a fighter feature, but this is it. So and then I gotta survive the rest of the battle. So we'll see how this goes. So I should have used it before I opened the door. So let's just say this is a reaction. So I use in reaction to the bite, I grit my teeth and channel my second wind, and hopefully I get a good roll. 5 plus level, that is 6. That is, now I'm back to 7 HP. All right, so 7 HP. HP 7, put this down here. This might be enough to maybe kill this reds, but it'll be a close call. It'll be a close call. All right, so that was this red. So this red will also move down to here, still within my threatened area, so no attack of opportunity there, just some movement, and it'll attack with pack tactics. Look at this, natural 20 again. 2d4 plus 2. All right, so this is 1, 2, and plus 2 is 4. That translates to only 1 point of damage, so I'm lucky. I'm at 6 hit points. All right, 3 reds left. So this red moves 1, 2, and attacks. Needle sharp teeth and tiny claws. Yes, it misses. 2 and 6, finally. This one misses. All right, now this one moves 1, 2. And it attacks with advantage. And usually, yeah, I roll damage die with the attack. So, with advantage, and it hits 16 for 4 points, which translates to 1 point. So I'm at 5 hit points, 1 red left. All right, so 1, 2. All right, so 12 plus 4, that is 16, that hits, but only for 3, which translates to 1. I'm at 4 hit points. All right, and now it is my turn, and because I'm a solo hero, I get 2 turns. So now I need to clear the way somewhat. So my first turn, first action, I will attack this red right here. And I will deal a minimum of 6 points of damage, but they have 7 hit points. So I do need to roll damage as well. with my rapier using my dueling fighting style. I attack +5 versus AC 12. And I hit for a lot of damage. 7 + 5, 13. So first action in the first turn, I stab this rat and kill it. Alright, now still my first turn, my move. I will move 1. I can't move further, because if I move further, I move out of the threatened... if I move back 1, I move out of their threatened area, then they can make opportunity attacks. So I will obviously not move at this point and just attack this rat right in front of me. And I hit, and this is what I'm talking about. I score only 6 points of damage. So this rat is alive with 1 hit point. So I use my small little acrylic die. So this rat, it has 6 points of damage. Yeah. And one other thing I want to show you, what is pretty useful. Let's do this. And I mentioned those things before in my channel. Another very useful tool for RPGs in general is a 1-inch craft punch. It's basically, it punches out 1-inch circles, and this is maybe from an old tea bag or cereal box. Just use flimsy cardboard that you have anyways if you buy a tea or cereal or frozen food or whatever, and then use your 1-inch craft punch just to punch out these little cardboard flimsy 1-inch tokens that fit on the battle grid, and you can use them also to mark hit points. So I just put down hit points 7, and I like to cross it out 1 so that I know that this is already injured. So, and then you could also just put it underneath. So if you have got like this, or I could just put down orange red because it's orange. So you got different methods to track hit points if you have generic looking pawns. So here it would be easy because they're all different colors. So I could track it by color. But if you only use like one colored glass beads or whatever, you could use also these tokens. Or you could just use these tokens if you know they're all red. So you just put these cardboard tokens there, and then you can mark the hit points directly on the token because you know it's all red. Or you put an R there for red. So the possibilities are endless, but these are pretty useful. So I wanted to show them to you as well. So I will use them. And also not a big investment, craft punch, and that's it. All right, so that was my second attack, second turn. So I can't move because attacks of opportunity, or I do not want to move because I'm at 4 hit points and I will not gain anything. I mean, they can just close the distance and attack again, so they will only deal damage. So now it's the rat's turn again. Just managed to take out 1 rat, which is stupid, but that's the way it is. So this rat, it'll attack using its pack tactics again. Yep, pack tactics for the win. So I just go clockwise around. So 18 it hits, of course, for 4, which is 1. So I'm again at 3 hit points. And this rat, it just moves 1 space because it can. And now this rat, the wounded rat, in a killing frenzy. Pack tactics for the win. It rolls a 10. That hits all. No, it doesn't hit. 15. It barely misses or barely fails to cause damage. So it chews on my studded leather boots or leather boots. So no damage. Now this rat. Oh, there we have the 20 again, natural 20. So it is 3 plus 1, that is 4, plus 2, however, is 6, which brings it to 2 points. So I am at 1 hit point. So now this red and this red. The brown one. The brown one. So I'll probably die. 19, 4 plus 2, that is 6. So natural 19, yeah. All right, so that's 2. So I'm at 0 HP and I will fall unconscious. And this is it. All right, so this is a tutorial series, but so my hero, he is dead. But so in a normal session, if you have known my video or have watched my videos, you know that I let the dice fall as they may. And if I'm so unlucky that everybody scores a critical hit, and I was also stupid because I didn't take a short rest, I'm dead. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I will still use this character to showcase what I still wanted to show in this series, which is I wanted to talk a little bit about overland travel in another episode. And I think that was even it. So for now, I will end this session here, and I will end the topic of dungeon delving, because I think you got the idea. So for me, it was important what I showed you in the first part of this series, dungeon delving, how I treat the map, how I interact with the map, how I mark doors, and also my thought process, how I go about different situations. And I think this has become clear. So I will end this delving part of this tutorial, and in the next episode on this series, I will just assume that I managed to barely get out of there and then take a rest, and then continue on my voyage and talk a little bit about overland journey and different methods you could use to either make them interesting or to treat them in general, how you could go about it, because it really depends on how important this journey is in this current story arc that you're playing. But I will go into this in detail in my next episode. All right, so this is it. I hope you enjoyed this series. I hope you got a few ideas now about how you could go about doing a dungeon delve. And I will thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. But the next episode on this channel will be another Cairn Reavers of Hakenwold episode, because it's been a while since I played the last session in this arc, and we're approaching a climax here, the Battle of Albridge, after I recruited the elves. So I want to progress this story as well. So the next video will be Reavers of Hakenwold, Cairn solo RPG, before we continue with this tutorial. So stay tuned. The next episode of Cairn will be up this week. And I hope you like what you see. As always, please do consider subscribing. Stay safe and stay healthy, and have a nice remaining day or evening. And until the next video, bye bye.